In this video, I will tell you the ghost story of the SS Valencia ship. The SS Valencia ship was lost in the Pacific Ocean over a century ago. But it is said to sail those waters to this day with many skeletons on board. The skeletons are believed to be the remains of the passengers that died on that ship in a tragic incident. So what is the tragic incident that happened to the SS Valencia ship, and what is the haunting story behind it? In order to know this, let us hear the story. The SS Valencia ship was launched on March 11, 1882. It was operated on the east coast from New York City to Venezuela. In 1886, she was sold to the Pacific Steam Whaling Company and began a new life on the west coast in the Pacific Ocean. The ship saw service during the Spanish-American War as an American troop ship before returning to civilian service on the west coast after the war. As a smaller ship, the SS Valencia had trouble handling the winter months on the coast of the Pacific Ocean. The ship's 30-meter bow reduced visibility from its bridge, and the sound of the waves hitting the bow interfered with crew communication. On January 20, 1906, the SS Valencia ship was headed out from San Francisco to Washington State. It has 9 officers, 56 crew, and 108 passengers. When the ship started its journey, the weather was very clear. Unfortunately, the weather became very cold on January 21. The crew members could not make celestial observations to mark their position. So, its navigation had to rely on dead reckoning, which is the process of calculating the current position of a ship by using its previous position. As a result, they missed the entrance to the Strait of Juan de Fuca, which is a waterway located in the international boundary between Canada and the United States. When they reached Cape Mendocino outside of San Francisco on 22 January in 1906, they encountered dense fog. Then the ship got off course because of the wind, the current, and the fog. Unfortunately, it ran into rocks right before midnight. Then a large wave hit the ship, and immediately the ship started sinking. The captain's orders to lower lifeboats. The passengers of the ship panicked and rushed to the lifeboats, which were very risky due to rough sea waters. Only a few made it to the lifeboats on the water, and even fewer made it safely to the shore. A distress call went out from the telegraph station on the beach, and rescue efforts began. The ship was so close to land, only around 50 meters from the shore, but they couldn't reach it at all due to rough seawater. Hundreds of passengers were trapped on the deck of the ship, including the captain and the crew. The ship began to break up almost at once, and the women and children started falling into the seawater. The people hoped to get rescued, but when the rescue ships finally arrived, they realized that it was too dangerous to get close to the wrecked ship due to rough seas. So, none of the ships were able to reach the wrecked ship. Instead, they sent 2 more lifeboats to rescue the passengers. One of the lifeboats was able to rescue 18 survivors, while another lifeboat was able to rescue 4 more survivors. After that, the crew on the rescue ship could only watch as the SS Valencia ship went down together with the rest of the people on board. Of all the passengers and crew on board, only 37 men survived this tragic incident. At least 117 people died, including all the women and children on board. It is known to be one of the more tragic incidents in maritime history. However, after a few days, some of the remains of the wrecked ship drifted to shore, and the remains have been left mostly untouched to this day. Outside of the Pachina Beach in Canada, the remains of the ship can still be seen, clinging to the coastline. Not long after the tragedy of the ship, many people start seeing the ghost ship of the SS Valencia near its crash site. People who saw the ghost ship said that the crew on the ghost ship of SS Valencia were all skeletons. 6 months after the sinking of the SS Valencia ship, a local fisherman on the Pacific Northwest coast, named Clanua Tom and his wife, reportedly found a lifeboat with 8 skeletons in a nearby sea cave in Pachina Bay, at the southern end of Vancouver Island in Canada. It is believed the 8 people were alive when their lifeboat drifted into the sea cave, but they died of starvation there. The fisherman could not recover the lifeboat, however, it was a mystery of even how it got near the cave. Since then, local fishermen reported seeing a lifeboat with skeletons rowing in the area. In 1910, an American daily newspaper reported that sailors claimed to have seen the ship that looked like the SS Valencia near Pachina Point Island in Canada. In 1933, one of the lifeboats from the SS Valencia ship drifted in Barkley Sound, located on the west coast of Vancouver Island. However, no skeletons were found on the boat this time.